All right, welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Hidden Gems. This is the video series where I talk about those underappreciated, undervalued books, those things that are not on the hot 10 list. They're not the books that everybody's chasing. These are just some oddball things that I find interesting that I think you might still be able to find out there in those boxes based off of some of the weird categories and concepts that I've been, looking that I want to cover. Hopefully you're still enjoying this series as well as everything else on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. Consider joining up with one of our memberships as I'm trying to do some members-only videos. We got a little special hangout that we're going to be doing before the tax show this week for our members. And I am also going to be dropping, or actually I already dropped, top 10 in 10 just for members just this past Monday. That might be a little bit later in the week on the regular, but that's just the kind of things that I'm targeting to start doing more regularly for our members. Also, I'm going to keep doing the regular shows that you guys are all accustomed to, so don't worry about that. Got the shorts running every day, having a lot of fun doing those and putting those together, so hopefully you guys are still enjoying the channel. And if you want to see what books I want to talk about this week, including some things that don't actually exist, if you know what I'm talking about, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro and I will be right back. All right, I figure you guys by now have gotten used to the idea of this segment because I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So I got a new That Should Be a Cover. I think I'll take the new tag off of this going forward because it's becoming a regular staple. I'm having a lot of fun doing these, just using my imagination, going through some artist work that I believe they should get some more attention, some more appreciation. They should get some more comic work or any comic work. Some of these don't even have comic work. These are just artists that I think are fantastic and deserve some of your attention. And this week is somebody I stumbled across on, I think it was on IG. But I'm going to have all the information down below. IG, ArtStation, DeviantArt, all the places where you can see this artist's work. And the artist I want to talk to is Hector Trunnec. I don't even know if I'm saying his name properly. I also don't have a picture of Hector. I just have the profile that he used, I think, for his Instagram. So we'll use that here. But you'll see, he does a lot of fantastic watercolor art. Now, watercolor's not for everybody. I mean, a lot of people just attribute it to Peach Momoko because she does it a lot lately, and a lot of people aren't into that style, but not all things are equal. David Mack also does a lot of this type of work as well. And if you check out what Hector's been doing, a lot of this is like portrait quality, fantastic, gorgeous, gorgeous art. And some of these things would make beautiful covers if these actually existed. And I'm going to play with my own imagination and make some fake covers for you off of Hector's art to show you what could be. In a perfect world, we would have this Rogue One comic with this cover, and I would be all over this. This is a great cover. This is great art. Like Jin Urso, K2, I would be all over this. Imagine if this were an incentive variant. People would be buying this all up. You can get remarks right there in that little empty spot too. This would be great. But this is just a taste of, well, again, you guys have been watching lately. You know what I've been doing. We can have all kinds of fun stuff. More Star Wars for you. I know not everybody's a fan of the sequel trilogy, but this would be a great cover for Rey. I mean, this is a beautiful piece of art on its own, but come on, tell me this wouldn't be a really cool cover that everybody would want to go out there and buy. Wouldn't they? I don't know. At least I would. I would go out there and buy this if this were a real cover. And I think this would be a fantastic Rey. I mean, it's like I said, it's like photo quality, like the accuracy of the depictions of some of these actors and actresses it's just spot on. It's fantastic. It's beautiful, beautiful work. And those are a couple of Star Wars options for you. And now we're going to move on over to DC. And I saw a little piece that Hector did with Batman here. And just looking at this piece of art, standing on the gargoyle in the rain, just again, this would make an awesome cover. I would dig this. I don't know. This would be a great cover. This would be a great cover, if you ask me. I know I probably could have played with the colors of the Batman logo a little bit. Maybe the orange doesn't work as best, but it's what I had on hand to try to make this, because it's kind of hard putting these things together. Not all these pieces exist for me to play around with online, so I got to make some of these, and it could be a pain. I'm not going to be honest. It could be a pain sometimes putting these together, but it's still kind of fun when you get to see the end result. At least I have fun doing this, and I like the end result. But this would be a cool Batman cover. just like this next one. Gal, hopefully she sticks around with the role. This would be a great cover too. It's a gorgeous piece of art. Again, it'd be a print that you could put up on the wall. It'd be a fantastic piece of art in and of itself. But I'm a comic collector, and I would love to see this as a comic cover. And I would be all over this if this was a cover. I'd be ordering multiple copies from my shop on a Wednesday if I could, if this were a real cover, because this would be awesome. Awesome. But it's not just here. Again, there's a lot of actors and movie pieces here in Hector's work, and I kind of dig that because I'm a movie guy, so I like all this stuff. So even things that are not topical, that don't have running series now, it would be still cool stuff if it existed. Like this. Max Rockatansky. Come on, wouldn't you want to buy this? I know the only real adaptations they have for this is more the Fury Road stuff. So I kind of borrowed the Vertigo and Fury Road, but I cut Fury Road out because, you know, this is old school. This is old school Mel, not Tom Hardy. But I still think this would be a really cool cover. Come on, Mad Max, awesome. Then maybe not the most popular, live action adaptation of a manga, but I should say, yeah, anime, I should say, because this was Ghost. Well, both. I guess a bit of both, because they did have the anime as well as the manga. But Ghost in the Shell. So this is the major. Scarlett Johansson playing it. This would still be a cool cover. This would have still been a cool variant if, you know, it actually existed. And then apparently it looked like Hector is a fan of Blade Runner, because he had a bunch of Blade Runner pieces, and some of these shots are like direct. Like I see images from the movie like online, and that's where these came from. So I made a couple of these because I still think the Blade Runner 2049, these would be some cool covers. So yeah, we had this one here. Again, I think it would be really, it looks like a photo. It's not though. This is watercolor art, not a photo. This is gorgeous. And then, yeah, we got this one here too, which I think would also make for a really great cover. I know it's kind of close-up portrait, but still, I still think this works. And like I said, if I had to shell out, $4 or $5 for this, I definitely would. And that's kind of the thing. I know I talked about it before. I like to see these as like cover A's, just regular covers, not all incentive variants. Don't have to make them virgins and all that stuff. I like the idea with the trade dress, and I like the idea of this just being something you could go out and buy. And if it did exist, I would go out and buy. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe one day we'll see Hector Trunnec's art gracing the covers of any of these series. Granted, some of these series don't run anymore. Like this next one, I don't know if we're gonna get another Hit Girl comic anytime soon, but this was still a really cool piece of art of Hit Girl. So yeah, what would it look like? It would look like this, and I would probably be shelling out a few bucks for this if it existed. So once again, wishes and dreams, I guess. Wishes and dreams. Imagining these being actual covers, but we still got a few more. Like I said, I was having a lot of fun doing these pieces this week. Like I spent a good long while making these up because I'm like, there's just a wide selection of stuff to choose from, and I was like, I want to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So yeah, Judge Dredd, yeah, let's do a Judge Dredd too because this looks cool. So granted, I don't think there's a current Judge Dredd title. I think Titan did the last one that I remember, but there is that Judge Dredd magazine. Granted, I didn't resize the art to fit a magazine, but the Judge Dredd magazine is still running, and it would look kind of like this. I didn't throw an extra headline on it because I wasn't going to go so far as to imagine what's in the guts of this magazine, because they generally would have like a little bit of a what's inside too down at the bottom. But trade dress and the barcode, that's what it would look like if this were one of the Judge Dredd magazines, which are up in like the 400s now. So this would be cool. This would be cool. And the next one, it's not my thing. It was more my brother's time. He was into this Dragon Ball stuff, but I can still appreciate that this would make for a really cool cover if this were a cover. I mean, it's a cool piece of art. Once again, on its own, it's a cool piece of art. But then once you add that trade dress and you throw the barcode on it and you see the rest with the pricing on it, it becomes more real in my mind. And I go, you know what? This would be really cool. This would be really cool if this were an actual comic. And yeah, I'd probably want to go find myself a copy if it existed. It'd be something I'd be hunting for because I probably wouldn't have picked it up on the outset because, like I said, I'm not a Dragon Ball Z collector, but I dig this and I'd probably go look for one. Now, we're going to get into some robots. I do love the robots. You guys know I got my Megatron Hiss tank right here next to me. I do like the Transformers. I do like the Voltron and all that stuff. So we got another Optimus Prime cover here. This would be great as a cover. Like, look at that. It's just Awesome piece of art. And there's a couple of pieces that Hector had that I was thinking about picking from, but I went with this one because it just made the most sense. And if IDW still had Transformers, it would probably look something like this. And you'd probably see me pulling out my wallet and throwing out a few bucks to pick this one up off the shelf because it is gorgeous. Now, another thing that really isn't my thing, because again, it was just these things kind of hit generation after me. So my brother, he's 10 years younger than me. So a lot of these things are more, but I know about them through him, like the Dragon Ball, even like the Turtles was a little bit after my time. But Gundam, like Mobile Suit Gundam is another thing. It's just not in my wheelhouse, but I can appreciate it. And I do dig the mech, the mechs and all that stuff. So this Mobile Suit Gundam would be really cool. It's a cool piece of art. Again, on its own, this is gorgeous. You start throwing this stuff on here, this is something I'm pulling out of a box if I come across it, and I'm shelling out a few bucks. So I threw the Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, on there because that's one of the most popular trade dresses I could find for Gundam comics, I guess. So Tokyo Pop, the Minx manga, whatever. This is what it would kind of look like if this was one of those old school covers. Hopefully somebody gets this property and starts making something recent. I don't think anybody has any comics going right now. If they do, let me know in the comments and I'll go check them out. But I don't know of any Mobile Suit Gundam comics coming out right now. But could be kind of cool if they were to bring these guys back. Here's another one. Another piece of art. Similar to the Optimus, kind of that same perspective. And this one I had a hard time trying to figure out where to put the trade dress. But I said, you know what? Screw it. If most of it gets covered up, most of it gets covered up because this mech just looks awesome. So that's what we did. It's just, again, it feels more real when you have that stuff in the background. But more likely than not, I would have had to lower the robot a bit, or the mech suit a little bit, so we can get the trade dress a bit more. But I didn't want to play around with it too much. I wanted it to be more of a 1-for-1, so you see the art and just make it from there without doing too many adjustments. At least that's what I was shooting for. So with that said, I got two more. I got two more. I told you I got a little carried away doing it this week because some of these are just so awesome. Like this piece of art, it's actually a little bit wider than this. Like the piece of art is a little bit wider. You get a little bit more of the wings and the full hand and all that stuff. But I had to kind of frame it to fit what I would imagine as a wraparound cover, because this would be the open wraparound cover. And I think, yeah, again, you got my money if you do this. If this were a real book, you got me shelling out my money. That's all I'm saying. And this again is what it would look like if it were opened up, like spread out, so you can see the back of the comic and the front. And then the front would be, just again, it would be really awesome on its own. So that's the best wraparounds are when they work in both versions, like as just a one cover, and then the opening up the back just adds to the effect of the art. So that's the best way. And I think this was a good example, and this made it work. And I got one more, and it's another Gundam. I know I got carried away with the Gundams. It's just really cool. I mean, look at this. Once again, this, however, wouldn't be a wraparound. I couldn't get this one to work as a wraparound in my head because you look, that was the way the mech is facing, and I didn't want to flip-flop the art. So I said, what if this were a gatefold cover? So it would open up and open out. So as a gatefold, it would look more like this. So you'd have to fold out, the cover to get the rest of the cover art. So the old school gatefold covers, which we don't see a lot anymore. They don't really do that a lot. I don't know why, but this was popular for a while there, especially there in like the 90s or whatnot. You get the gatefold open. I remember X-Men 1, where you had all four covers that opened out into one. That's kind of the idea of what I'm talking about here. And if it was folded up and folded in, it would look just like this, which is cool enough as its own. I think this still works as a piece of art on its own without the opening, but opening it up, adds to the effect, I think. But let me know what you think in the in the comment section down below. Go check out, like I said, I'll have links to Hector's DeviantArt, ArtStation, all that stuff, so you can check out more of his work. And just, again, I'm just trying to spread awareness for some of these artists. It's things that I like and I think are cool. I'm following on Instagram and just checking out art because I love and appreciate art and comic art. And I wish we got more of this stuff. That's all. So, again, just mostly me daydreaming. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I am taking your suggestions. I got a little bit of a list. Some of you guys are throwing out some names. I'm putting them down to try to cover them in the future. But, just kind of winging this. So hopefully you're enjoying it. Now, another new segment idea is kind of rolled out. I think we were going through with some comments and things like that. It kind of fit into things I was putting into like oddballs and like nostalgia. But to be more direct, we're going to do some mashups. So this is when we're actively taking two things that we know don't go together normally and putting them together. So we could be talking about like the Turtles and Batman, some of the weird crossovers, cross-company crossovers, things like that, or even when you're taking ideas and putting them together. So that's where we're taking my mashups here. So yeah, kudos to anybody who figures out what fonts I decided to use. They don't go together. One's a food item and the other is a conglomerate, I guess. So yeah, let me know in the comments and see if you can guess what I made up this logo out of, because I was having a hard time figuring out what to use. And I said, you know what? I'm using these two, even though they have no connection to each other whatsoever. And that sometimes is the best way, which is also how I'm going to bring this segment into existence by saying, look, we could take something like Archie and zombies. We could take them and we could smash them together. And then we're going to get Afterlife with Archie. So that's the idea. Again, sometimes it's going to be crossovers. Other times it's going to be weird ideas like this. We're taking zombies. We're taking Archie books. We're smashing them together. And we're getting Afterlife with Archie comics. There are a number of really cool variants for this. Not incentive variants. These are like B covers, C covers, depending on how many covers they decided to make. Some really, really cool covers. And some of them do sell for a bit of money. Others might just be cover price, and not all of them are worth everything, a ton. But these are ones to keep an eye out for if you're digging in the boxes and you find some Afterlife with Archie. It's not a long run. It only ran 10 issues. So we're going to cover, I think, 6 of them. Starting with issue 1. This is issue 1. There are a multitude of variants for this. There's the whole issue where they had the regular cover, and I think the stores could have their store logo like imprinted on it or something like that. So there's a ton of those, ton of options, ton of different versions. But this one, this lingerie cover, which we're going to get a few of these. And, I get it, not for everybody, but as you've seen, especially with some of the recent releases on some of these Archie variants, there are buyers for this. So, and I like this. I like it's kind of cool. That said, so you got some zombies. It looks like an 80s horror movie. It also pays homage to that. It kind of brings back that feelings and nostalgia. So again, this would have been kind of in my nostalgia picks, but I think it works. So I think it works having this new segment for mashups. So let me know what you think. But this is, I think, cover D. It's a Papoy, if I'm saying the artist's last name correctly. But that's the variant here for number 1. And like I said, the other number 1s aren't worth a heck of a lot. But this one, it's like $40 raw if you can find this version. And then you can see there was a 9.8 that won at auction. Is that 9.8? Yeah, I think it's a 9.8 won at auction. Yeah, for $74 with 10 bids. So not a ton on that 9.8. But again, it's an auction. And this is not a book that everybody's hunting for. So once again, you might get yourself sold short if you put things like that up for auction. Where you can see the other 2 raw sales, $40. You just got to wait for that buyer. Just be patient. Wait for that buyer. Don't do auctions on stuff that's not like on a hot list or that's on the tips of everybody's tongue and in their mind's eye for that week. You're better off. You're better off fielding best offers and just setting it at a set price. That said, what's available on this? The available copies left right now are like $70 to $80 raw. So once again, it's not a cheap book. It's not a cheap book because, again, there are collectors for this. This is the D cover, I believe. So there's multiple variants. Maybe not the easiest one to find, but who knows? Go digging in your boxes. Go to your shop. Go dig in the boxes. See what's there. Maybe you find something like this. Find this nice little hidden gem. Now, the next few issues don't give us much. You cover A, cover B, whatever. There's not a lot there that's really worth digging for as far as Afterlife with Archie goes until you get to issue 5. And we get another one of these like lingerie covers. So it looks like we got Veronica here running. Again, you got the zombies, horror, classic horror vibes, good girl art kind of thing going here. Copies of this one sell for about, 10, 15, $20, thereabouts. Not as expensive as that first one, but that's what they're selling for. And then the asking prices on this, it could still be in that same range. Look, 15, $20. There's one that's only $7, but with the Canadian shipping, that's $18. It's really a $25 purchase. So if you're in the US, so 15 to $25 is kind of what the number 5. I think this is the B cover goes for. This is the variant. You can see it in the box up at the top. It says variant here. Here, I'll actually zoom in and let you see that a little bit. So yeah, it says the variant right here. So again, it's not an incentive variant. It is, as far as I know, was open order. It's just how many shops ordered Afterlife with Archie to begin with, let alone enough copies of the variants to go along with their regular cover A's. Who knows? But we do have issue 6. Another cool cover. This one still, it kind of bridges the gap. It's not a total, like, lingerie. I mean, seems to be almost like a magician's assistant, but she seems to be the witch rolling here. And this is issue 6 variant, taking care of all these zombies with some magic. Pretty cool cover. Nice little, like I said, nice little crossover homage mashup. This one sold, their copy sold for $1.25 at auction. Copy sold for $5.52 with 8 bids at auction. $12.50 at auction. None of these have sold for very much at auction. So that could be a good way to shop. But if you're a seller, don't sell them that way. Be patient, because the asking prices on those fixed price asks are $20 to $35 raw, $125 for a 9.8. But you see, the ones that sell are the ones that are impatient. They throw them out for auction. Just saying. You undercut yourself by trying to take a chance on a book that, again, nobody's chasing this. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's going and looking for this, except maybe James. James Kreider might be the only one who's out there actively hunting for this stuff, like me. But that said, this was number 6. We still got a few more. I don't want to linger too long, but I kind of am, because these are some cool covers. And I have most of these too, because like I said, I like these. So I like these too. And I went digging for them because of this very reason. They sell for more than you would expect. This is number 7. Again, you got Jughead back there. You got the girls who are watching TV. It's like classic 80s horror type stuff. The whole setup. Yeah, the cheapest one sold for about $17 when you factor in shipping. The other two were about $25 raw. Those were all sales, recently, just in the last month or so. Asking prices on this one, $30, up to $90. Granted, most of them are around that $30 range. There are a couple that are cheaper. There's a couple higher, like that $90 one. But by and large, this is around $30 raw as far as asking prices go. These also have, I didn't mention this before, like a thicker cardstock type cover. So if there is damage, you're most likely not going to be able to get it pressed out. So if there's spine ticks, they're there for life. If there's any bends or creases, they're probably not coming out, because I believe all of these have that thicker kind of cardstock type cover. And not glossy either. It's more like a matte finish. So that also adds to, like, the damage can, it'll be there. Like, you might have to look a little harder, but it's there, and probably ain't going away. Now, the next one, actually the next two are on the cheaper side, and they don't follow this same, again, we have the good girl art, the sexy girl that people like investing in. So that's probably why these next two are cheaper, because they don't have that going for it. But I still think these are cool variants that you should go look for. Starting with number 8. Here's Juggy. Like, you get it. You see the Shining reference. It's just kind of fun. I think this is a fun little cover. And this is, again, the variant for number 8. And I like a good movie homage. So this one, once again, doesn't sell for a whole heck of a lot. $10 raw, $25 for a 9.8. It costs more than that to grade this damn thing. But somebody, once again, put it at auction. And all they got out of it was $24.52. So I got to imagine they lost a few bucks on it. Not a ton, but still, you're not going to make a whole heck of a lot if that's all you're getting for a graded book, because it costs money to grade a book. Apart from shipping it there, even if you do it on site, it still costs money to grade books. So keep that in mind too. It's not a free process. Asking prices on this, again, they're not expensive. It's like $8 So definitely on the cheaper side, but it's still just a fun cover, I think, to go and dig for. Just like this next one's got Evil Dead, like Evil Dead type of vibe here. That's also kind of cool for number 9. You got Jughead again, zombified, coming at you. Gorgeous, gorgeous art. I like this. But once again, best offers on $6 and $12. So not selling for a whole heck of a lot. Asking prices $5 to $10. By and large, is what you can find them for online. So kind of like the Shining one. This is between $5 and $10. So, but I still think it's fun to go look for and go dig for. So that's it. Number 9, and then we got our last issue, and I'm done. I know you guys probably got enough of the Archie and zombies, but I thought it was fun. I think it's kind of fun looking at this stuff. Here we got Jim Ballant did a cover, and guys, remember Jim Ballant did Catwoman back in the 90s. But number 10, I think he also does Tarot. I think that's his title. Anyway, this is the variant for issue 10. So cheerleaders, zombies, bats, cool stuff. Is that a golf club? Awesome. Sold prices on this. Yeah, $6, $5, $8. Not a lot. And that one is the other ones were the $5 and $6 were auctions with one bid. $8 was the one buy it now. Asking prices on these, however, they're not a lot. It's still $10 to $12. $10 to $12 is not a ton. I don't know why. I mean, this is the last one. Maybe it's because they're not in lingerie, but it's cheerleaders. I still think it kind of fits that same kind of criteria. You would think it would be a little bit more, but hey, there it is. Regardless, go dig in a box, see if you can find this for like cover or less. I'm not telling you to go out there and pay market price for these things. I just think these are fun things to go and dig for and go look for. And you might make a few bucks if you find it for cheap enough. So that's up to you to make that call. That's why I'm giving you the pricing information. So you can make that call if you find it in a shop, whether you want to pay those prices or not, so you know where the market is at. Now, this is the cover B. This is the variant. But there is a cover A, which is actually better, I think. Better cover. I like this silhouette, this Francavilla silhouette here with the Josie and the Pussycats, because I think they are also in this issue, like for the first time in the zombie universe or whatever. But this is the regular cover for number 10, cover A. And this does all right. This does all right, too. I mean, much in the same vein as the variant, but $10 to $15. So it's a touch more. Asking prices, yeah, again, 10, 20, thereabouts. So, again, who knows? Who knows what you might find at your shop? But keep an eye out for Afterlife with Archie. And let me know what you think of the mashup section idea. And feel free, make suggestions. I tell you guys all the time. Feel free, reach out to me, send me a direct message, mention in the comments below. Give me some suggestions. I'll cover some stuff for you guys. If you want to see more, I'll try and do it for you if I can. As long as I find it interesting, I'll do it, because this is all I'm looking for. I love doing this stuff. This is my hobby. This is my passion. So I don't mind digging into some of this oddball stuff with you guys. That said, I got 2 more segments for you. I think 2 more sections, and then we'll call it a night. First being later prints. Yeah, I know. I like collecting later prints. Sometimes, it's kind of fun. They're harder to find. I wouldn't overpay for them personally, but I love digging for them because you can find them out there for cheap, and you can sometimes get yourself a nice return if you find them. So with that in mind, let's go into our first one, and we're going to be looking at Ghost Rider today. Going to be looking at Ghost Rider. I don't know, the Afterlife with Archie got me in this horror vibe. Despite we had a lot of mechs going on with Hector's art at the beginning, the Afterlife with Archie started getting me more on that the darker side of things. So we're going with Ghost Rider for a little bit here in the next segment or so. Ghost Rider number 1. This is the cover A. This is the regular cover. Yeah, you guys know it. It's classic image. You know it. If you find the second print, it's very much the same, except for it's not Spidey in the little box down below. It's Ghost Rider in the little box down below. That's the easiest way for you to identify, looking at the cover, that this is the second print for Ghost Rider number 1. I mean, both, I would say grab both, or either if you find them in a shop and it's cheap enough. But second printing can sell for $20, $22, $100. I don't know why somebody paid $100, but somebody paid $100 just there on January 23rd for this book. Right? Second print sometimes. But the asking prices, when you look, by and large, 30, 35, 50, that's kind of more of the range. So while there are copies selling for about 20 up to 100, the range is really somewhere in between, more than that 30 to 50 as far as the asking prices go. So that's kind of where the market's at. We're going to find most of the copies. So if you find one, that's what you're working with. Second print, Ghost Rider's little picture down in the UPC down below, not Spidey's. The next one, second print for Ghost Rider. Again, I told you we're doing Ghost Rider. This is number 5, Jim Lee cover. Punisher, Ghost Rider, going head to head. Could have put this in the mashups, but it's more of a crossover, whatever. Still, gold. The gold second prints of the 90s. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, I usually don't like recolored version, but there was something about getting that metallic gold ink, and it also gives me that sense of nostalgia of looking for them, because I remember looking for them when I was a kid, because I wanted to collect everything. I wanted to have everything. I wanted the first print. I wanted the newsstand, a regular, and later print if they had it. So, OCD, I guess. But number 5, Ghost Rider, Punisher crossover. Yeah, it doesn't sell for a whole heck of a lot, but still, keep an eye out for it. Look, copy sold for $3 raw, so it didn't sell for a whole lot. A 9.6, only $36, and it looks like, is that, I think it was a 9.8, the best offer on 70. So maybe it's not a ton, but still kind of a fun thing. Sometimes I put books in here just for fun. It's not going to be worth a whole lot of money, but it is just for fun. You can see copies of this. It's about $10. And then you got $15 for the regular cover and the second print. So it's about $10 if you're going to asking prices online, but you can see it can sell for much cheaper. So like I said, not all of them are going to be huge finds and huge money makers. Some of them I just think are kind of cool and just want to talk about it. Like this gold cover. And like the gold cover on the classic number 15. Yeah, you guys know this cover. On its own, this is an awesome cover. Like, this is an awesome image. This is Tex Teixeira. Is it Teixeira? I'm thinking baseball. Like, I always get it Mark Teixeira mixed up with the first baseman. Anyway, Ghost Rider, number 15. You guys know the regular cover is black. The gold is the second print. And these both glow in the dark. So like I said, cover art on its own is awesome. You add a glow-in-the-dark feature to a Ghost Rider cover where the flaming skull is glowing, you got my money. I want a copy, and I do have a copy. I have a couple copies, and I'll grab this anytime I see it because I just love this thing. That said, it's okay. It doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of money. copy sold for $4, $8, best offer on 13, and then asking prices are in the $15 to $20, $30 range. So it's not too bad there if you see those asking prices. But that's all I got for you for the Ghost Rider later printings, second printings there. But we are going to stick with Ghost Rider for a little bit because I had these mixed together for a little bit, but these aren't technically second printings, even though there are reprints mixed in here. But we're going to put this in oddities. So we're going over to the oddity section now real fast. Actually, I do have two sections. I forgot I split up the Ghost Rider stuff into two. So I still got oddities, and I think I still got nostalgia coming your way. But for oddities, some of these Ghost Rider figures, like this one, had comic books included with them. And you guys know I'm a big fan of the toy comics, the not for resales, the the Toy Biz ones that get mixed in there. Here is a Marvel Legends Series 3 Ghost Rider. And you can see he's got the bike, you got the Ghost Rider, pretty cool figure on its own. And then you got the first appearance of Blackout, the vampire, and issue 2 of that Ghost Rider run right behind him. So you get this comic inside here. So you can see the difference because, there's no pricing and all that stuff. It says, not for resale down below. So that's how you would find it in the box. And this is a reprint. So keep that in mind too. So that's why I thought about putting in later printings, but this felt more oddity because of it's a toy inclusion. So with that said, what does this thing sell for? $1.50. It doesn't sell for a whole heck of a lot when you see the actual sales, but I still think it's a cool thing to find. And all the asking prices are more in that $7 to $10 range. So once again, you're not going to get rich if you find one of these. I just think it's a fun thing to go and dig out. And it is a first appearance, and it's a character. He was in the movie. They did put the character in, the Idris Elba one, the second Ghost Rider movie, the Spirit of Vengeance one, I think. Is that what they called it? Anyway, Nick Cage second run at Ghost Rider, where they went for a little bit different vibe. I think he was the villain, right? Anyway, so there's issue 2, and then there was another toy where they had Vengeance. Speaking of Spirit of Vengeance. So Marvel Legends Vengeance character. This is from the Legendary Rider series. You can see there's the character, the toy. You get a card, and there's a comic way there, back there, behind it all. And that is issue 39 of this one of Ghost Rider. Again, not for resale. That's how you know it's not the actual comic. I mean, apart from the big black border that's running around it too. But that's one of the ways you can identify it. It's just a fun thing to go and dig for. Once again, copy sold for $1, and they even give you the cardboard backing of the toy thing. For some reason, a lot of these, I bought some of these from at the flea market where they still have the comic in the little bag that they put it in, this little crappy bag that they have it in, and it's taped to the board that the toy came on, and they're just left like that. Like I bought a few because they had some like that. I don't know why. I don't know why they keep the back and the comic like that, but they did. So you might find them that way sometimes. Maybe not at a comic shop, but any odd place like a flea market, that's how you might find them. But asking prices on this in that same kind of $7 to $10 range. Once again, you're not going to get rich finding these. It's just kind of a fun little thing to go and hunt for, but I think it's kind of cool. Just like, here's one more. Series 7 got this Ghost Rider figure. Again, you're getting the bike, you're getting the Ghost Rider, and you're getting, well, in this case, it's not a comic. Looks like a comic, but it's not a comic. This is actually a poster book. Pretty cool cover, though, on this poster book when you look at it. So keep an eye out for it, because it'll probably be mixed in with the comics because it's comic size, but this is actually a poster book. This one also is not expensive, $1.25, and it's got that board. I told you, it's glued to the back of the toy, but you're not getting the toy with it for $1.25. That's what they sell for. Asking prices on this one, this one a little more 10 to 16, $10 to $15 really. So instead of 8 to 10, this is 10 to 15. So you might make a little bit more money if you find this poster book. I'm just playing. It's just kind of fun thing to hunt. Again, I just thought they were kind of cool. Thought it was a little bit different. Thought it would be interesting just to share this stuff with you guys. But you're not going to get rich if you find them. But you may get a smile, and you may get a cool little thing that you just stick in your box and collect. That said, one more segment before we wrap it up today. My nostalgia picks. And you guys know I pick oddball things sometimes for nostalgia. A lot of times it's 80s projects and 80s toys. In this case, we're not going that far back. We're going to a little bit later in life. It's something we don't hear much about these days, but I remember for a time, Witchblade and the Darkness were big deals. So I'm going back to the Darkness. I'm going back because there was also a time when, despite what the comics were doing, there was a really cool video game. I actually liked playing this game. This is on Xbox. I had it at 360, so I played this on Xbox 360. I think there's actually 2 games, but so that's also doing all these video game things got me thinking about this stuff. So that's also kind of where this one popped into my brain. But this Darkness video game was kind of fun. It was fun to play. Like his power set lent itself perfectly for like a like a game, like first person or even third person kind of a type of game. That said, first appearance of Darkness. Go ahead, keep an eye out for him in case you find it. It's Witchblade 10. I told you, Witchblade, very popular at the time. There is also the variant where it's actually listed as a Darkness number 0, and it's Witchblade 10, so you got this one to keep an eye out for too. It's the same book, but it is kind of different cover on it. His first appearance, because they're introducing, soft, it was like a backdoor pilot sort of thing in the comics, because they knew they were going to be coming up with his character as sort of a foil to the Witchblade, the opposite end of that spectrum, and you got the Angelus and the whatever. I don't remember all my Top Cow stuff from back in the day. It was kind of cool for a while, all the religious angels type aspects, but this book, again, kind of all over. It could be as cheap as $6.50 again at auction because people aren't buying at auction. Then the buy it nows are close to that $20 range, right around $20. So it's like a $20 book right now for his appearance of Darkness in Witchblade number 10. Asking prices, however, a little different. 30 to 35. There's other versions and other covers out there. There's also reprinted, and there's like museum editions and a lot of weird stuff out there too. But by and large, just keep an eye out for those two that I showed you. 9.8 is like $185, then a 9.8 of the other one. Oh, actually, no, that's a 9.4 of the Darkness 0 version. It's $124. So, graded, you might, be able to get yourself a nice little premium. So if you find a high-grade copy raw, maybe consider getting it graded if you find it for cheap. But that's his first appearance in Witchblade number 10. He also got a solo series, started here with Darkness number 1. Here you go. Copies will sell okay. Yeah, well, if you consider $3 okay. But then, for whatever reason, you also got a copy selling for like $18. 9/8's $170. $30, it was allotted with something else. So, once again, its price is going to be all over the place. You're not going to get rich if you find it. Again, I think it's kind of a fun thing to go and dig out. Asking prices for Darkness number 1, $17, $9 for that other cover, $13 at auction with no bids yet. Not surprised. Again, nobody's looking for Darkness. This is kind of a weird, forgotten about thing. Maybe not forgotten about, but it's definitely not in the the forefront of the hobby. But with that all said, let's look at the last issue. So the last issue, and like I mentioned, the final issues of a lot of series are usually worth looking for. Here is the last issue for the Darkness, issue 40, which had another cover too. Keep an eye out for that one. Very similar look. You could confuse them. Not a lot of difference there. You got all the dark little creatures, right around Jackie Escato, but it doesn't sell for a ton, but it's still worth looking for because most of the run, it's dollar books. We're all dollar books. You're not going to get much more for them. But this one sold for a penny. So keep that in mind. This final issue, literally, it sold one bid at a penny. Why auction? I don't know how many times to say it. Don't auction. With $3.99 shipping, somebody literally paid this $4 shipped. I got to tell you, with the shipping materials, it's going to cost that seller more. A penny? Really? A penny? However, asking prices are like $7 to $15. Again, I'm not going to get rich, but it's worth a few bucks if you can find one for $1. But there is another version of this. I think it's a convention thing. This is not easy to find because it's not listed as Darkness number 40. Even though it is, it's also mentioned and noted as Universe 0? I don't know. I don't really get what it actually is, but this cover, in my research and looking out there, this will net you a few bucks if you can find this. So remember this picture. If you find it, keep in mind. Copy sold January 23rd, $121. $121 for this. Asking prices, there's two. $95 and $150 out of the UK too for that $150 one. So it's going to cost you even more with the shipping. I don't know. I had no idea that this book sold that well. So it must be really tough to find. Maybe I could have put it in Ghost, but well, it wouldn't have been a Ghost anyway because there's two copies. So with that said, it would have been listed as hard to find. But that's all I got for you this week. Sorry if I dragged on a little bit there. Had a lot of fun going through the art. I had a lot of fun with the mashups with the Archie and and the horror type stuff. Hopefully you're still having fun, enjoying the stuff here on the channel. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out. Like I said, comment down below and let me know what you think. Make some suggestions. And got plenty of stuff coming your way this week. And thank you all. And I'll have more content for you soon. All right. Later.